The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, and what a show we've got in store for you. The latest Square Ball update, which is brought to you by Levi Solicitors, Michael Normanton. October about to come to a shuddering climax with the end of this, so get in there. If you want discount legal services, is what I'm saying, get in there in the next day or two.
You don't get distracted by Halloween. You need to get 15% off.
Because that'd be a horror show if you missed out.
Exactly. But if you want 15% off conveyancing, lasting powers of attorney, and also wills, which I could definitely remember then, you've only got a couple of days left.
Seamless, absolutely professional. Why is that? Because what happens at the end of October, the end of Levi's birthday month?
It just goes back to 10%.
Well, we don't know that for sure. They've not told us yet. Let's assume. So.
Let's assume.
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a build-up if it was this till the end of the month and they went, oh, actually, let's just continuing.
Yeah, it's going so well. Yeah.
Celebrating our birthday again.
Yeah. It is the usual 10% discount on your legal fees on all their other services. You can get full details, terms on the website, levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. We'll put a link in the episode description as well, which I think is very kind of us.
You've just discovered how to do that, haven't you? Well done.
No, I hadn't discovered how to do it. I've just remembered that we probably should.
All right, cool.
I'll just at least say it, because I think it's always been there, truth be told. Chris Max here as well. Right then, let's get into our roundup, Square Bally roundup, because we were the early kickoff at the weekend, and we haven't spoken since. So, should we do that now?
Suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, so we were 0-0 against Bristol City, which means we've got propaganda coming tomorrow, which I presume the Bristol bit's going to be very, very short.
I've listened to what I can. Everyone's just gone, yeah, yeah, it's fine. But so not much of that. But we've had a Manchester United change, and it is very much of a Manchester United week. I feel like
a change at Manchester United Football Club.
Indeed,
you enjoyed that, Chris? Some of your Man United supporting friends back home.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many times have we been here in the last 11 years? It's the same thing every time. I know a lot of people were saying, like, oh, no, joking about giving him more time, as if they're going to hire someone competent now. Who are they going to bring in? Hopefully Gareth Southgate. But
it won't be, will it?
That would have been the dream, because that would have been a meltdown from the off, which would have been glorious to see. But, who'd have thought the cycling bloke didn't entirely know what he was doing at a football club?
Well, hopefully they'll continue to flounder and we will get some more mileage out of it. It'd be bad if they started being successful again. Let's just go on record and say that. But what I hope is they've spent too much money in the short term on utter shite, and Ten Hag, having signed a new contract, needs a massive payoff, so that hinders their PSR position.
They are spending a lot on sacking managers, which is why this is such a glorious cycle that they're in. Mrs. Manchester United, we don't sack managers, we stick by them. Turns out they don't. Not for very long anyway.
It's great seeing them do this now after all the stuff about, Jim Ratcliffe coming in, he's going to fix things, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He's cancelled the staff Christmas party, he's cancelled working from home, and now they're going to have to pay Eric Ten Hag millions. But they called all that cost-cutting measures. How are you cutting costs if you're doing that and you're still spending 50, 60 million on average footballers, 4 or 5 at a time?
Thankfully, our football club would never do anything the silliest to torch a load of money on footballers who maybe don't even play for us.
Definitely not.
Because that would properly level it up a bit, wouldn't it?
We don't have the same exceptionalism, at least.
I mean, do we not?
Yeah, but in the Championship, we're allowed it, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the Championship results actually from the weekend. Coventry with a last-ditch winner against Luton, who continue to, they flounder. Their mates, Watford, beat Blackburn, Burnley 0-0 against QPR. I didn't expect that. That was a pleasant surprise. Derby won all against Hull. Plymouth against Preston. Now that's pertinent to our upcoming fixture, because we were hoping desperately that Wayne Rooney would be retained in position for this weekend. So it does do that, I would imagine, unless somebody goes absolutely nuts down there in the coming couple of days.
Give him the scum job.
You think so?
I mean, that would be the absolute dream. It's not going to happen, but imagine if it did. But no, I'll just be glad to see him at Elland Road.
Yeah. Oh, I was very worried. They were 3-0 down in that game at the weekend as well, weren't they?
Yeah, we couldn't quite remember the order of scoring, could we? But yeah. It would appear so. So what a comeback. Give him more time, that's what I say.
It's only going up from here. We're going to look stupid when they beat us. But
I was going to say, actually, we could find ourselves 3-0 up against them potentially at the weekend. And because this has happened to them in the last game, there'll be that little bit of Leeds United doubt in your mind going, yeah, but did you see what they did last time?
Yeah, they'll bring Lee Tomlin off the bench and we'll all really panic.
So they drew 3-3. Yeah, Plymouth against Preston. Sheffield United won again against Stoke. Sunderland won again against Oxford. Swansea lost at home to Millwall. And then, West Brom 0, Cardiff 0. We got some Cardiff City swearing child, is he?
He went to it.
Right.
He wasn't happy with the ref, so yes.
On propaganda,
is your short answer.
Right. And then the Sunday game was Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3, which was batshit mental, and Middlesbrough turned up dressed like Huddersfield.
Is that right? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
What? Blue and white stripes?
That's their away kit, yeah. They didn't need to change.
Dog colours.
So, again, can we call this utter woke nonsense? Deploy that SeanDyche.jpg.
Fine. Did you see someone had found the wall? That was again, it was in Shoreditch. Someone found the wall that photo was taken against. I think it might be Monday Al or someone.
The Sean Dyche utter woke nonsense picture.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, right, okay.
It could the tiles probably do exist elsewhere as well. But
Dyche doesn't strike me as a Shoreditch man.
I think
he a secret hipster?
I think he's more than maybe he lets on. He's playing a character, I think.
All right. Now your throat's better, by the way.
No.
Come on.
People got in touch after the match ball because they could see how was Michael all right towards the end of it, because they could see I was holding in a cough, and I think my eyes had gone quite pink because I was just waiting for the show to wrap up, and I thought I don't want to cough all over the end of it. So instead I just sat there going, just not breathing. Yeah,
it was P, just the letter P. Must work with James Bond, I think.
Cool. But yeah, no, to answer the question, no, it was not all right.
Checking in to make sure Michael's okay, says the email. This is at mailbag@thesquareball.net if you want to get in touch, by the way. Seems he took a turn for the gurn towards the end of the Bristol City post-match. You do look like you've just double dropped and it's just taken effect.
Yeah, it was in a K-hole for the end of that particular pod. Yeah, if you listened to the extra time bit that you get for your TSB Plus member, I think I do cough in the first second of that.
Yeah, I left that in.
Yeah, so
just for a treat for the members. So that's the good stuff they pay for.
It's more than a second.
Yeah, it went off for a bit.
So we're going to go to the mailbag shortly, actually. But table-wise, that leaves Sunderland top on 28 points. Again, morally, they're on 26. Mm-hmm. And we are morally second on 25, at least. Oh, no, are we counting the Portsmouth game and the opening game of the season as a moral victory, weren't we? So that would put us on 25. Was it 27?
That Josh Sargent penalty shouldn't really count either.
You don't think?
Because that chump had never scored against us from open play.
So we're actually on 29 points now, morally.
Are we taking a point against Burnley because the centre-backs were ahead of the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So we're actually 30, if not higher. We probably, the daft thing is, we should be.
We actually should.
We've played 12, won 6, drawn 5, and lost 1. A couple of those should be victories.
They definitely should. Norwich, in fairness, I can tolerate the draw in that. It was a fairly even game.
But they're soon enough. I'm just looking down the. I did a little bit of statting, looking down the upcoming fixtures because we've got Johnny Cooper on later in the week, which we've already recorded that, but it's put me in the statistical frame of mind. Been crunching the numbers, lads. Of our next 12 games, of which we play Derby twice, inexplicably twice within the space of 3 weeks. Sort that out. Do you know when we played Villa twice in 3 weeks in fairly recent memories? Or was that a Premier League thing?
Yeah, but that was COVID related.
Was it? Because it get shifted, right? Yes, we've got Derby twice in this run of games, but I've been looking at the average position of our next 12 opponents is 15th in the league.
I actually just realised, I actually think it wasn't meant to be COVID related. But there was a game meant to be moved like the 29th of December that got moved to February.
Yes.
Like or maybe it was, I can't remember, something like that.
Yeah, there was a postponement, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, so we have got them twice in a close proximity, but they are one of the better performing teams out of the list of teams that we've got next. So Plymouth 21st, Millwall 10th, QPR 23rd. Sorry, Plymouth 21st, Millwall 10th, QPR 23rd, Swansea 17th, Luton 22nd, Blackburn 6th, Derby 12th, Borough 9th, Preston 16th, Oxford 14th, Stoke 19th, Derby 12th.
Win every one of them then, yeah?
I think so. Well, of the next 4 opponents, Chris, Plymouth, we took 6 points off last season. Millwall, 6 points off last season. QPR, let's ignore that game at the end of the season. That doesn't count, but we took 3 points off them. And then Swansea, we took 6 points off. So it's there for the taking. These next few games absolutely need to step up.
Yeah, I was saying, I can't remember who I was saying to, but that the whole 2 points per game thing is fine so long as we're actually doing it. And obviously we're sort of there at the minute, but it's this time of year where Leeds tend to kick into gear and win 6 or 7 on the bounce. And if you look at that run of fixtures and Leeds don't take, 7 or 8 wins out of that 10, 11 games, then you'd be starting to get a little bit worried.
So 12 games, we're just asking for 30. How many points out of 36 do you think we should get? 34.
Fine.
Is that what you'll accept?
I will accept that, yes.
Good. We've got a lot of games, actually. We've got another international break to squeeze in the middle of November, but 6 games in November, and then
That international break is so
another
stupid
six,
when you look at
December.
either side of it. When you're going basically 3 games in a week, then a massive gap so England can play, I don't fucking know who, someone in some pointless games no one gives a shit about, and then you come back and you're again 3 games in 7 days. Just get rid of those games. No one cares.
I think we might be missing a midweek game that should have been, that this time last year would have already been played. There was a midweek round.
Was that to accommodate the summer tournament and maybe an earlier finish for this season by a week or something?
Maybe, I'm not too sure, but it feels like we've got a lot of games. If we've got 6 games in November and that's with a 2-week break, it does feel unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then December's just...
It's the same, another 6 games. This is when
it turns out England are playing Ireland, by the way.
All right, okay.
There you go.
That's exciting. At least there'll be a little bit of something to be interested in there.
Not if the last game was anything to go by.
No.
Ireland played like San Marino in it. Just everyone behind the ball, just leathering it clear every time it got near him.
And does Thomas Tuchel take over in the new year?
Oh, is that right? Is he not?
I think so.
Just fancy. Is he Steve Bruce in it? Is he going to watch cricket or something instead?
Yeah, Carsley's fully Judas in it against Ireland again, I think. Whatever. Enjoy it. Yeah, 6 games in November, 6 in December.
Something to look
as well.
forward to anyway.
Yeah, another 6 games in December. So there's a lot happening now. My only concern here is injuries and suspensions, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean Ramazani's not going to be fit for a bit, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anyone due back soon, is there, from our injuries?
Nope. Max Weber will be back soon.
Like I say, etc.
Although could come in useful, given that we're on the verge of some centre-back suspensions, I think, soon.
Yeah, I mean, Rodon and Bogle are both a game off now, aren't they?
Although we've got Guy Lavogie
Mm-hmm.
now who can step in at centre-half with his big friendly face.
Is there a way of getting like a FIFA ban rather than a solely EFL ban so they can all get banned for the international break? That'd be great.
Can Guy Lavogie claim he's served his suspension for not being called up for France, having not been called up since 2015?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that gets you a FIFA suspension normally is sort of drugs or something like that, isn't it? So just a very small quantity of doping. Just enough to serve a 1-game ban.
I ideally don't want any of our players to go on international duty in this break. I think they should all do the decent thing and just say, look, let's just stay here. Who even knows who Wales are playing? There's no need for Dan James and Rodon to go. Although
they could just stay in Wales because the first game back afterwards is Swansea away.
There you go. A glamour tie.
You might want them to train in a couple of days before that, no?
Just run up and down Penny Fan.
Where's that?
It's in the, I'm not going to try and say the official name for it now in Welsh, but the Brecon Beacons.
Oh, okay, fine.
But yeah, anyway, got waylaid there. So what I'm saying is between now and Christmas, hopefully we'll get a head of steam up and start running away with the league. I think Sunderland need to behave themselves now. They're getting silly.
Yeah, looking at that run of fixtures, I said 7 or 8 wins. I would be expecting 9 or 10 probably.
I think, and rightly so, yeah. Of those games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them at home. 6 home, 6 away. So, yeah, I mean, why not? Let's do it. Let's go on a run. Be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be fun. And, yeah, if Sunderland can just calm down. They don't deserve to be where they are.
Why? On what basis do you make that assertion?
On the basis that they robbed us, well,
their pitch
or Melier did, of some points, and I fail to accept that they're any good.
Okay.
And I just won't acknowledge it.
Well, that's all right, mate.
I'm still not acknowledging Ipswich are any good.
Right.
So, and I've been proved right because look, they've not won a game this year, have they, in the Premier League? So I was right all along.
Are they not?
I don't think they've won a game, have they?
They might have won one.
4 draws and 5 losses, maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm going to look at the Premier League now just to confirm where we are with that. Ipswich. Oh, put the full table up. Hang on a minute. I'm going to click the table tab now. Ipswich have won 0 games out of 9.
Good.
Yeah. It's a bloody long road back from there, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking
Well,
at.
I mean, you say it is, but the bottom of the table is absolutely terrible. So about 30 points will keep you up.
But what I'm saying is the gap now to Everton and Leicester, who are in 16th and 15th respectively, is 5 points. So you're already having to win 2 more games than them, having won none so far. It's really, really hard. I mean, like our first season back, when we finished 9th, I was never comfortable in that season, whereas I should have seen like a 5, 6, 7 point gap to the bottom teams was actually a massive gap.
I think there's a period where you've got to acclimatise from being in a promotion race where a 5 or 6 point gap is made up quite quickly because the teams just underneath you are quite good, to avoiding relegation where all the teams around you are complete shit and lose every week. So it's going to go. I was fine. That's probably sees through the month. Well, a 5 point gap.
Yeah. So you mean you need 9 wins to stay up, or there or thereabouts.
This will Bills next year, hopefully.
Great.
In a big panic about, just need to scrape a draw in that and maybe win that. And
Was it over the weekend I was saying? So basically they've got 29 games left now of Ipswich. You've got to win 1 in 3 to stay up.
oh well, it's not our concern, is it?
No, but they were singing about us in their celebration, with the bus tour and stuff like that. We featured in that. So I will be ready to milk that if and when they drop.
I don't have the energy to get annoyed about Ipswich.
Yeah, they've got Ed Sheeran. They've got enough problems to deal with.
Fair point. To the mailbag and the season so far, actually, Bob has been in touch. Mailbag at thesquareball.net if you want to drop us an email, by the way. This is the mailbag special because we're going to go into that mailbag. A thought on the season so far, says Bob. How many of the starting 11 now played regularly together in the second half of last season? By my reckoning, it's 4. Melier, Rodon, Firpo and Nonto. The others either weren't Leeds players, were playing elsewhere or were injured. Is it any surprise the performances have sometimes been a little bit patchy so far? I'm confident things will continue to improve, and I've booked my cruise tickets on HMS Pistol League. I've not thought about that, really, the amount of time they played together.
And I suppose as well, the midfield was the Gruev, Ampadu and Kamara thing last year all felt very established, didn't it? And that's completely changed now. And right in the centre of the pitch, you'd imagine that'd be a problem.
It's probably telling a story, Chris, that I can't remember exactly who started the playoff final, but did Pirro start up front in that game?
Yes.
So he has come back into the side, actually.
Yeah, although he was, well, I suppose he was in the team, but no one wanted him in it, if that counts.
Yeah. Well, who else would have started?
Well, it'd have been Joseph or
Joseph hasn't started
or Bamford. Or Bamford was just always injured, wasn't he?
Was he not out for pretty much all the run-in towards the end of last season?
Yeah, he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, because that's when people wanted Joseph to have a game. But instead we just kept playing Pirro, which kept not working.
Yeah.
Well, it was around this time last year that it all started to kick into gear. At Leicester, Friday night was early November last year. And from there, I'm trying to think, there was the draw with Rotherham after the international break. Or was that after the international break?
I can't remember.
Around this time.
Yeah, it was all around.
I have a feeling Rotherham was a bit later in the season.
It was late November, that draw.
Yeah, it felt cold and dark in my mind.
I mean, that's
just Rotherham.
That's Rotherham.
That is
Rotherham.
Because then they had a couple of wins at home, and then it just all starts to kick into gear, and then obviously falls apart at Christmas.
Yeah. Ben commenting on the season so far. Hi guys, not sure if it's just me. I'm being a little biased here, but there's not been a league game, excluding the cup in this, where I felt like we haven't been the better team. There have been games where we haven't looked quite 100%, but it's never felt like absolute doom. Even against some of the so-called bigger teams like Burnley, Sunderland, Sheffield United, I feel like we've been comfortable and controlled the games. Thoughts?
Agree.
Yep.
Yeah, the only problem is sometimes controlling the game isn't enough. We're just knocking the ball about. It's like the Burnley game, for example. Just it's okay to control a game, but actually do something with it.
I mean, spoiler alert, but in the show that we've done with Johnny Cooper from Opta, he said basically, if we score first in a game, we never lose. Ever. We haven't done it like 59, did he say? So that's on the show coming up later in the week. So get that first goal and it puts a very different complexion on the whole thing. So yeah, stop knocking it around. Knock it in the net. Is that your advice, Michael?
Hard. Knock it in hard.
Right.
Yep.
There is an argument for the Wilco approach of get out and win it early. Just blow teams away. Like on Saturday.
Like Portsmouth. Oh.
Like starting Pirro on Saturday, the amount of times in that first half where you saw a run that Joseph would have made and could have made and didn't make, that Pirro didn't make. you know, it might have been good to just go out and try and hire him, scare him for 45, 60 minutes and then bring on somebody like Perro, which is what worked in the games against Coventry and Cardiff.
Yeah, bringing him on almost as the game settles down, spreads out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Pirro has taken on the Pat Bamford role of being our most confusing player, in that it doesn't work really quite often, but then you can see value in him as well. And I feel like across the season he'll probably contribute enough to merit his place in this team and in the squad. But no one's ever really happy, are they, with Pirro? I feel like
no one's ever really happy in football.
Oh yeah,
he's the Dutch Rodrigo.
Yeah,
doesn't really fit anywhere,
and yet is dead good at what he's dead good at.
Yeah,
which is putting the ball in the net. And even then, there are times when he picks it up and whacks it from outside the area, and you go, "Don't do that." But he scores anyway. I mean, that's a bit of football chat for you. We can now move on to famous people you went to school with, Michael's racism, or piss chat.
Let's go with the piss, I think.
Right. Freddie has been in touch. Hi, lads. Love the pod. It's not to do with football, thank God. Hello, Freddie. To add to the Bergame Piss Goblin chat, that was a nightclub in Germany, wasn't it, that got brought up? How did that get brought up? It was in relation to Charles, the wet vacuum cleaner that is in the Henry Hoover suite of products. He's the wet vacuum.
I thought for some reason I thought you were going to refer to it as the Henry Hoover stable for some reason, which would have been nice.
Yeah. There is also a famed water sports connoisseur called Troffman in Australia. He even has a Wikipedia. Cheers,
he does. It's quite an extensive Wikipedia.
Mm.
Well, good to know.
Yep.
Maybe a members show. We'll do a watch along of the film that's the 1998 short film Troffman. Could be of interest to certain people. I don't know. We've not ever done surveys, have we, about people's fetishes?
No.
Sounds like a horse that would win at Cheltenham.
Troffman. There is the clip of the man washing his hands in I think it's a festival in the Netherlands, possibly. He comes out, he's confused, and he thinks that the urinal is a sink, and picks up the little yellow bar of soap and starts washing his hands with it, and then someone kind of looks at him and he's like, "Is this a sink?" And they're like, "Ah."
Do you know how we got the name Troffman?
I can guess.
It's exactly what you think. Quoting the Wikipedia page, describing his experience, Troffman began by crouching down and leaning against the urinal before engaging in the signature activity. No longer kneeling or crouching, I lie right down in the urinal. And Troffman also engaged in other water sports and recalls using the bandana code, which you'll be familiar with, Michael. Are you? I know it's either red or blue, isn't it, for Bloods or Crips? Which are you?
The one that's the least pissy.
Right.
Ideally.
They're the West Coast gangs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which one are you? And which one do you want to upset the most?
Just think they're both a great bunch of lads.
Yeah. But obviously, if you had a yellow bandana in your back pocket, what's that going to signify?
The Hulk Hogan.
No, piss.
Oh, okay.
Hulk Hogan. Oh, dear me. So that's Troffman. Yeah, I hope if he's having fun and it's not upsetting anybody, you do you, mate. Connor, also on piss. And following on from the Piss Goblins of Berlin, in true Viz Comic Readers question style, I'd be interested to learn if any of your listeners encountered the legend of the bloke who used to eat the soap and urinal cakes from pubs at the top end of town up towards the university. It was a well-known figure in my mid-2010 uni days. Never saw the bloke, but the bar staff in our locals swore he was real and would come up at pub watch meetings. So pub watch is where they say, look out for any dodgy characters or this person's barred, isn't it? His preference was for the old school lemon-scented urinal cakes and traditional bars of soap in Hyde Park Corner. Perhaps worthwhile to check out to see if anyone left Levi's in disgrace around that time. Levi's are good people.
Don't bring them into this.
No.
How they celebrate their birthdays, no one's business.
Yeah. Please stay with us. Please re-sign next year. Yeah, it's like a Jack Frost of urinal cakes here, then, like a mythical figure.
I do remember a thing of people was, I think, because they let off some sort of scent. I don't know what the chemical would be in them. I'm sure I remember some tales of people like stealing them to sniff them and stuff, but not from a fetish point of view, just from a get some good chemicals in you.
Right.
But I never did that either.
Do you want to go on record say this wasn't you?
Correct.
What about the soap?
The soap. I mean,
Agnes, who's putting bars of soap in a pub?
yeah, if I see a bar of soap in a pub, I'm not washing my hands. It's like if sometimes you go in generally a small place and there's an actual towel. Don't dry your hands on an actual towel. If it's like it's generally being like a little restaurant or a cafe or something, and you've got an actual towel. No, don't touch it.
You just leave the piss on your hands.
Yeah, your hands. At least this is my piss.
Yeah,
I'm happy with this.
Definitely not in Hyde Park Corner either. Quite a busy pub.
Any more on piss, or should we move on to your racism, Michael?
Yeah, might as well address it.
Yeah. Or do you want to do famous people you went to school with?
No, I'll get it out of the way.
Your racism.
Yeah, let's cover it off.
Ray just got in touch talking about his entry into the world of Leeds United. It says, "Dear Square Ball crew, with Michael's anti-American racism front and centre, I'd sort of build it as an anti-American agenda, but Ray's gone further and described it as racism. I wanted to send you a small story on how all American Leeds fans didn't join after promotion. Back in 2009, moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. My apartment neighbours and I became friendly and would hang out from time to time. We bonded over video games and a love of football/soccer. Eventually, one of them introduced me to Football Manager and showed me I could marry my love of football, video games and strategy. The first team I ever managed was Leeds United, 08-09 season. After beginning Football Manager with Leeds United, I became obsessed with learning as much as I could about my new club. Since then, I've been a supporter. Whilst I'm not a lifer like you all, my 5-year-old daughter will be, hopefully. Cheers to all of you, MOT. Best regards, Ray." So a few threads to pull on then. Getting into Leeds because you managed them on Football Manager. Quite a low point, that as well.
Yeah, very low point. We're into trying to think who would have been the better players on that version of the game.
Is that the one we did for the all-night stream?
No, it was
before.
This is the mid-year of League One, so it's not the first year. It's not the promotion year. It's the starting with McAllister, ending with Grayson.
You've got Fab Delph, probably is a bit of a wonder kid.
You
play him, sell him at the end of the first season.
Yeah, you've still got, I guess you've got Beckford and Becchio in that squad.
Jonathan Douglas? Was he there then?
Yeah, he was still there. That was his final season.
I think he was quite good in that game.
Yeah, I think he was all right. He was a hangover from being in the Championship, wasn't he? And he had some reasonable stats in it.
I do enjoy like completely arbitrary reasons though for supporting a football club. I mean, first of all, maximum respect to anybody who decided to start becoming a Leeds fan between the years of 2004 and 2016 or thereabouts.
You've got Bates as a chairman as well in that game as well, which makes it really difficult because no matter how well you do, it just never gives you any money to spend. But he has recently been suing people with Ken, so let's just steer clear of it. It was only a game, and in real life, he's a top guy.
Yeah, it's nearly his birthday. It's his birthday at the start of December, isn't it?
3rd of December, I think.
If he makes it.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You were talking before about you can't libel the dead, Michael. He'll be 93 in a few weeks.
So we wait.
So we'll just keep our powder dry.
You know what they say about the good ones?
Well, yes, Chris, I do. Arbitrary reasons for getting into supporting a football team. I think Football Manager is a good one. My mate James originally started supporting Villa because he filled them first in his Panini sticker book as a kid. Although he has gravitated more towards Leeds United in recent times because I think both his boys are into Leeds. So,
I'm trying to think if there's any teams I've liked due to Football Manager. I've vaguely been interested in Ross County for a time from like some 95, 96 version of
hipster
of Football Manager. I think I just wanted to start as someone in the Scottish Third Division because it was like the bottom level you could manage, I think, at that point on that game. And I was like, right, just pick someone random here. And I think I had quite a good game with them. But
yeah, me and Sam
never felt compelled to go to a game, I have to say.
Yeah, me and Sam have been getting into quite a niche, like couple of clubs that we've started getting involved with on FIFA/EA FC. Forest Green was one because he quite liked the kit, which was fun. And then another team called Real Madrid. Don't know if you've heard of those guys.
Finnish club.
Yeah, they were very stroppy about the Ballon d'Or, weren't they? You heard see that?
Because very funny though. After that, Rio Ferdinand shouting Ballon d'Or into a microphone 9 times for Vinicius to not win it.
Stupid fucker. In my opinion, I'm talking about rich people suing people. Yeah.
I think he would struggle to defend that in court.
What?
Rio Ferdinand. I feel like a basic IQ test would see you win that case.
All right, fair enough. No, I mean that.
Speaking of the Ballon d'Or and Ray's mailbag, Paul Huntington was class in that Football Manager. I think he ended up being worth like 10, 15 million if you kept playing him.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
this is what I mean about the hangover from the Championship with Douglas, because I think he'd been an Ireland international. He was in the Championship. He'd been at a Premier League club at some point. I think sometimes between versions of the game, it doesn't account for how bad people have got as they drop down the leagues. And he was at Newcastle, wasn't he? And he was a promising youngster, so he probably had decent stats, and they just didn't change him when he was stuck in League One.
I wonder, Eddie White might have been in the Leeds Academy then too.
Yeah. Well, that was his breakthrough season, wasn't it?
Well, speaking of AD White, coming on the West Stand, isn't it? That's exciting.
He is.
So I wonder what magnificent questions we can throw at him about that.
He was brilliant in that season.
What did it feel like playing as number 10 under Neil Warnock?
Deary me.
So we'll look out for that in future weeks. Should we move on to famous people you went to school with?
Well, we've done ours.
I forgot one. Tom Cleverley I forgot about. Went to my school.
Scum bastard.
Those brave United boys that you respect so much.
I love them. I love those guys.
Ella says, hi all. In regard to your conversation about the most famous people who went to your school, not at the same time, but Ollie McBurney was a student at the same school as me, and then during lockdown got caught speeding in Garforth, the town we both grew up in. Make sure we can stand that one up, shall we?
Just Google that. Probably. I'm going to say yes.
Sky Sports are reporting this, so let's assume it's fine. Ollie McBurney has been fined £28,500 for drink driving after a police officer spotted him reaching an idiotic speed in his high-powered Audi. The Sheffield United and Scotland striker appeared at Leeds Magistrates Court where he admitted the charge and was banned from the roads for 12 months.
Also at my school, someone called Ollie Johnson,
Holly Johnson.
Yes, that's the one, yeah.
From Frankie Goes
to Hollywood, yeah. Now this one, he was coming in the pub and he was playing for Nostell Miners Welfare, and then he got a move to Stockport, and then like a year later he was playing at Elland Road for Norwich, and it was a bit like, bloody hell, he's done well for himself, hasn't he?
Good on him.
I bumped into him recently, but I was leathered and I can't actually remember where it was.
All right, mate. Was it one of them?
I can only imagine it was at football. Might have even been the playoff final. I can't remember.
I was leathered.
If he's listening, let me know where it was. It was nice to see you.
So memorable, eh?
I mean, I would have forgotten anyone at that point.
Favourite hit of Holly Johnson's after he went solo, following Frankie Goes to Hollywood?
Americanos. Whoa. Blue jeans and chinos.
Why do you like that one so much?
Because it says Americano on the coffee machine here and we get to sing it every day.
Every single day. You could have obviously had, if it wasn't Americanos, you would have gone for...
Oh, one of the others.
Which were called?
The Power of Love.
Nearly love. 2 words. First word is love. Second
Can
word
build a bridge.
No, 2 words. Love.
Hurts.
No. Mode of transport.
Shack.
Mode of transport.
Love tuk tuk.
Train.
No, thank you, Chris. Yeah. Love Train, which of course went to number 4 in January 1989, shortly before Americanos hit the charts in April 89, which also went to number 4 in the charts. Didn't have as much success with his follow-up song later that year in June 1989, which would of course be...
Oh, yeah.
Atomic...
Kitten.
I knew you were going to say that. City.
That's it.
Are you going to sing any of them for us apart from Americanos?
No, I don't think so.
No. What about Ken Bates singing Americanos?
No.
Deitch?
No.
Robbie Savage?
There'll be no songs today.
You're not doing any voices
I'm
for us?
resting my voice. Unless you want to see me almost pass out from coughing once more.
Anything else to add then before we sign off?
Not my school. My mother-in-law did teach Byron Webster, the Millwall defender, if that counts for anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really my school. It's a school sort of nearby.
Do you know anybody who went to school, Chris?
My primary school teacher was in the same class, and I think midfield at school with Martin O'Neill.
There you go.
So there you go.
Right, there we go. Mailbag at thesquareball.net if you can add to that. Quality output. And guess we'll catch you next time. See you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.